All right, y'all. So Kwame Brown has confirmed that he's going to do an interview with Tasha K. And so, you know, he's taking his talents to Tasha K. He's been roasting everybody and anybody he can on the internet for about 3 weeks now. You know, I'm kind of disappointed in the move, but this man is a grown man. He has the right to do whatever he wants to do. But I kind of find it hypocritical when you actually talk about people that don't have integrity and people that are not honest, but yet you're going to go onto our platform, which lets me know that right now, maybe Kwame is just looking at the numbers and the amount of people that he can reach by going onto her platform. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. I don't care if anybody drops down in the comments talking about I'm hating on Kwame. I'm not hating on Kwame. I don't think he's a bust. I do think he's inconsistent with some of the things that he says. You know, for one, you know, I have a problem with him saying, if you go back and you look at his earlier videos, he said something about BT, all right, said that it was her fault that she ended up in the predicament that she ended up in. And I thought that was very disrespectful, right? This is a woman that had already, unfortunately, left us prematurely. And you're talking about it's her fault because of the decisions that she made. And so if that's your ideology on that situation, why don't you apply that to your own situation and say, hey, you know, it's my fault that I came into the league at 17 or 18. I wasn't ready. I didn't play well throughout my career. People are talking about my NBA career. But, you know, at the same time, I deserve it because I didn't live up to expectations. But no, you know, 20 years later, and rightfully so, I agree with you, you're clapping back. You're standing your ground. So you didn't deserve all the things that Stephen A said about you. You didn't deserve Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson poking fun at you and other people that talked about your career being a bust, did you? No, you didn't deserve that. So BT doesn't deserve you saying that it was her fault, right? That things turned out the way that they did because she decided to date a dude from the streets. She don't deserve you saying that. Keep your mouth closed. You sound like Candace Owens, who you support. You sound like Tommy Sotomayor, who you supported at one point in time before he wanted to come and get his face back because he felt that you owed him a platform because he shared his platform with you. And so he was looking for you to return the favor, right? But this is what happened in the process. Kwame got starstruck, you know? He hasn't received this much attention in years, right? Now, even though I don't like Tommy Sotomayor and I disapprove of his content wholeheartedly, listen, this is what I'm going to say about that situation that him and Tommy is going through, right? Tommy brought you on his platform, right? To talk about whatever, right? He gave you a platform and things of that nature, right? You should have returned the favor. You're on your platform talking about how we as a people need to help one another and, you know, be a benefit to one another, help the community grow. But as soon as you got Judge Joe Brown and you started getting all these subs from you roasting everybody in the NBA and roasting everybody that you could that came your way, as soon as you saw your numbers start to tick, you did what most people, what most melanated people do within our community. You turn your back on people and you don't know them anymore. That's just my opinion. I'm keeping it all the way real. I'm not defending Tommy Sotomayor, but what I am saying, if this brother was gracious enough to, you know, lend his platform to you, right? And then you want to get ghost and not respond and, you know, not respond in a timely manner. You know, I can see why Tommy feels slighted by you, right? At the end of the day, you're a grown man. You don't owe anybody nothing, but the right thing to do is to return the favor. And that's my opinion. Now, again, let me make this clear. I don't like Tommy Sotomayor. I don't like his ideology. I don't like his content. And I say that wholeheartedly, but I'm just keeping it real, right? This brother Kwame is teaching, help one another, you know, stand together, right? You know, treat each other like you want to be treated. But, you know, in that situation, you're kind of inconsistent, brother. I'm just keeping it real. Now, I don't agree with Tommy actually calling your mom out of her name. That was very disrespectful, but you shouldn't be surprised because he does that on a day-to-day basis on his platform where, you know, he just talks about our queens in such an egregious manner. It's just ridiculous. And with that said, should I say that it's your fault for associating yourself with Tommy Sotomayor from the start? I mean, I'm going back to the BT conversation, okay? I'm going back to that conversation. You said it was her fault that, you know, things happened the way that they did. Is it your fault that Tommy is now online calling your mother out of her name because you associated yourself with Tommy Sotomayor? Should I say that? Should I say, hey, you should have known what you was getting into? You see where I'm going at, Kwame? You know what I'm saying? I am so hot and livid that you had the audacity to say that about BT. You know, it's just ridiculous. Like, I'm speechless. Now, another thing that ticked me off is when Kwame started talking about LeBron James. Now, before I go any further, I want to say this. It really amazes me the amount of brothers that can't stand LeBron James. Like, for real. I don't understand why a lot of brothers, and it's a personal thing with LeBron James, it goes beyond the basketball court. And for the life of me, I just can't understand it. You know, this brother's never been in trouble. He's built the school, giving kids the opportunity to get an education, right? You know, he's speaking up for our community, something that Michael Jordan never did. I never heard Kobe really speak out. You know, this brother is putting his brand in jeopardy for being just outspoken. And then you want to call him out because he doesn't speak out on the things that you want him to speak out on. And you're saying that he's protecting his money and things of that nature. Well, if I recall, you said you did the same thing when you was in the NBA, that you didn't speak out against, you know, owners and, you know, the team and things like that because you wanted to get your money. So how hypocritical is that for you to call out LeBron James for doing the same thing that you did? Like, I'm seeing so many inconsistencies. I know a lot of our people, they love the way Kwame roasts. You want to get your brown liquor and your Newport cigarettes and just sit back and kiki. But at the same time, if you really listen in depth to what this brother is saying, you will find so many inconsistencies about how he's presenting himself. And for the life of me, again, I'm going to say this, right? You don't have to like LeBron James, the basketball player. You can have your faves, Kobe, Jordan, whoever you think, you know, is the best basketball player. But when it comes to LeBron James and what he's modeled to these young kids within our community, how can you go against that man? How can you make t-shirts disrespecting that man? How can you do this to a brother, you know, that has never been in trouble, never represented our community in a negative light? This brother has been on a straight path. Now, he's not perfect. I'm not saying that he's God, because he's not. But LeBron James, right, for the most part has been for the people. And the thing that we have to understand is that it's already other cultures that despise this man. And you have so many people within our community that is supporting that by coming out and mocking this man, right? Listen, it goes further than basketball, like I said. When I see t-shirts being made, right? The constant, you know, jabs that people take at LeBron James on a day-to-day basis. They got to find something wrong with this man every day. Every day. It's a wonder that LeBron James hasn't snapped like Kwame, right? It's a wonder, even though LeBron James lived up to the hype and things of that nature. Every day, this man has been a punching bag for the whole wide world, in my opinion, you know? And so when you see people within our community that have a disdain for LeBron James, it's imperative that you distance yourself from that particular individual, because something is wrong upstairs. If anybody within our community distance themselves from LeBron James, other than being critical about what they feel he is on the basketball court, then there's something wrong with that particular individual. And, you know, it would behoove you to distance yourself from that particular person, because that person is not for the people. Now, that's not to say that you should agree with everything that LeBron says or does. You don't have to, but man, that dragging your brother each and every day, that has to stop. That has to stop within our community. It just has to, you know, because Michael Jordan has just got privy to actually standing up for our community. You know, as you can remember, if you don't remember, back in the days, Michael Jordan was like Republicans buy shoes too. So he was defending his brand. He was keeping his mouth shut. The same thing that Kwame is accusing LeBron James of. Kwame kept his mouth shut to get his money. Michael Jordan kept his mouth shut to get his money. And LeBron James is doing the same thing, but you got a problem with LeBron James, but not Michael Jordan. And the difference between Michael and LeBron, and I'm not talking about their basketball game, is this. You know, LeBron James failed to speak out on one or two issues. Michael Jordan didn't talk at all when he was playing ball. He said himself during his documentary that he didn't want to bring politics into sports, right? He said that himself. He criticized himself, right? So, you know, like, it's just crazy, you know, how the standards are for certain people. Keep that same energy across the board. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I went off into this rant. I didn't expect to talk about this, but it just hit me when I started the video, because I really was going to talk about the comment section of Kwame's video when he was saying that he was going to be on Tasha K at 8. It was so many people that was upset that Kwame was actually going on Tasha K. You know, and the comments for the most part were extremely negative. A lot of people are not here for Kwame actually going on to Tasha K's platform to do an interview. And in my opinion, like I said earlier, it's all about the numbers, because this man has sat on his platform talking about honesty, dignity, and respect. And you going on Tasha K's platform looking for that? Let me tell you something.
That sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it. Not from her.
You know, it's just interesting to me that this brother would make this move, but that's his business, it's his prerogative. There's going to be a lot of talk about this. I'm pretty sure people are going to be making videos after this interview airs tonight. So, you know, we just have to sit back and see what happens. But I will say this, you know, Kwame needs to make up his mind. One moment he's talking about the things that needs to, you know, be done for the people. And then the next moment he's talking about it's BT's fault that, you know, the situation happened like it did, you know. And, you know, people with his ideology and Tommy Sotomayor and Candace Owens, this is the problem that I have, right? This is the problem with how they think. Everything that happens to us is our fault. They never place blame on the outside. They never place blame on anybody else. It's our fault. It's what we need to do. It's what we're not doing. It's what we're doing negatively to impact our own community. And I understand that there is a little bit truth there, but you can't live in this world like there's nothing that anybody else has done outside of our community that has contributed to, you know, our plight as a whole. You know, and, you know, they live in this imaginary world like it's all our fault. They never call anybody else out. And that's the problem I have with people like him, Candace, Brandon Tatum, the Hodge twins, Diamond and Silk. You know, they live in this world where they never criticize other people. They always criticize within their own. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not down with that at all. And I see that and I peep that on the behalf of Kwame, that this brother has so many inconsistencies that I'm just not rocking with. So I'm gonna let this go right here and let y'all have at it in the comments. Drop down and let me know what you think about this entire video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll get with you in the next video. Stay true. Peace.